What is going on, everybody? It's Steven here and welcome to my review of the ECOO E04 Aurora Plus, so the 3GB version running on Android 5 Lollipop. But I really have to say, Android 5 is currently a beta ROM. Now the source will be released in June, and currently that's just a crappy beta build and it absolutely sucks. So it's slow as hell, it's buggy, it crashes. So don't buy the phone right now just because of Lollipop. If you want to buy it, then just have a look at the specs, they are amazing. So the ECOO E04 Plus features a 5.5-inch Full HD display which looks absolutely beautiful, the MTK6752 1.7 GHz Octa Core chipset, a fingerprint scanner which is probably the best one I've ever tested, much better than on my Galaxy Note 4, and the recognition time is just about 0.1 seconds and it works really all the time, it's great. Then it also supports a lot of bands to make it work almost worldwide, but unfortunately there's only dual band on WCDMA, so we have quad band GSM, dual band WCDMA, and some FDD-LTE frequencies like B1, B3, B7 and B20. So yeah, unfortunately no 1800 and 950 frequencies on 3G. Then we have 3GB of RAM, which is absolutely amazing, gives you the best multitasking experience ever, plus 16GB of ROM, a 16MP rear camera plus a 8MP front-facing camera. Camera looks absolutely beautiful but probably interpolated. Then it's running Android KitKat, that's the latest stable build, and the newest beta build is Android 5 Lollipop. But yeah, there will be a stable Lollipop build somewhere in June or July, so stay tuned guys. So the phone currently retails for about €190. And I bought it from efogshop.com, the link is down below, and we'll also stock that smartphone in our shop because this is a absolutely great smartphone. But yeah, I will ship out with Android KitKat because Lollipop currently is just a piece of crap. Then I would say let's get started and let's have a look on what we can find inside of the box, so let's go guys. Now this will be a quite short unboxing because actually there's not that much included. ECOO is a sub-brand from Elephone, so they include the same things like here a user manual. This one here comes in English with no pictures, actually I wouldn't read it at all, too much text. But anyway, let's have a look at the other things inside of the box. Then here a micro USB charging cable to charge it or to connect it to the computer. So the quality looks pretty okay, but yeah, I use my own charging accessories and this is actually nothing special, so just a normal micro USB charging cable. Then also the sticker here is included, and this is quite important because it shows your IMEI numbers. And when you refresh your smartphone, like update to the newest Lollipop build or something, then it could be possible that you overwrite your IMEI with 0. And in order to restore it, you need your IMEI. It's printed here on the sticker, so don't lose it. But it should also be under your battery, so we'll have a look at this a bit later. Then the last thing which is included is a normal wall charger. I mean, it looks quite okay, it doesn't come with any logos, it looks a bit small here, and it outputs 5 watts, so a normal wall charger with the correct power socket connector for my country. USB port looks good too. So that's everything which is included. There is no headset, no screen protector, and also no flip cover included, so that's a bit bad. But the price is actually pretty good for the specs you get. Then I would say let's get started and let's have a look at the ECOO E04. Alrighty guys, now here it is, the ECOO E04 Aurora Plus, and it looks absolutely great. Just have a look at the screen, it's a bit glossy and it's a 2.5D ARC screen. We'll have a look at that a bit later, but just check out the display, it's colorful, it's absolutely sharp, and it just looks like an amazing good panel. Then as I've said before, it's a 5.5-inch phone, so it's quite handy. Then yeah, it's pretty thin, but at the top you can see it gets a bit thicker, and also the camera is actually the thickest point of the smartphone. The back cover, in my opinion, looks absolutely awesome. It looks like carbon, but yeah, blue carbon, and this looks absolutely great. So some people say they don't like the design, it doesn't look classy enough, it looks like a toy phone or something, but I'm going to use this as my business phone because I absolutely love it. Then here we have a dual LED flash, which is very bright, the ECOO logo, which looks good, and a pink ring around the rear camera, which gives it a really cool look. Then at the bottom here, the CE certification logo. This looks a bit bad here on the back cover. It would be better without it, but yeah, it doesn't really matter for me. Then at the bottom here we have a microphone and a dual speaker design, but the sound is only coming out of one speaker, so that's actually just one big speaker. Then here you can see the frame, it's plastic. At the right side we have the volume rockers and the power button, and that's basically it. All the buttons placed on the right side, which makes it easy to access them, and that's pretty good in my opinion. Then here at the bottom we have the home button, which is also a fingerprint scanner, so that's why it looks a bit strange. But this fingerprint scanner is the best one I've ever used. It recognizes my finger every time and it's very fast, so it's pretty cool. Then the backlight from the capacitive buttons doesn't look really good. Here at the top we have a micro USB port to charge it or to connect it to the computer, and also a 3.5mm headphone connector, but there's no headset included. Now yeah, frame and everything is plastic, but it feels like pretty good quality. And what I like about the screen is that it is a 2.5D arc screen, so there's no sharp edge. It's actually a round edge here, and that is absolutely great, because it feels really good when you hold it with one hand here just like this, and it feels somehow different than other smartphones. Then yeah, on the display you can see it's a bit glossy, and at the top here we have a front-facing camera, several sensors, in the middle a speaker which looks quite small and it could be bigger and louder, and left here from the speaker we have a notification LED. You cannot see it right now, but it's quite small and left from the speaker. Okay guys, now that's basically it. That's the ECOO here from the outside. The frame, everything looks pretty good in my opinion, and I'm really in love with the backside. I like that blue carbon thing here, and the cool thing is that it always looks different depending from what angle you have a look at it, and yeah, it just looks great in my opinion. Now here's a quick close-up of the 2.5D arc screen, and this helps to improve the screen ratio, but also provides better visual experience, and I think this looks really great and should be implemented on a lot of smartphones. As always, let's also check how this phone here looks from the inside. Yeah, back cover pretty awesome, but you can also remove that back cover. So you just have to go in here with your fingernail and then just lift it off, and there we go. And yeah, it bends a bit, but it's quite stable. In there's no antenna or contacts for NFC or something, so NFC not supported, but empty case Hotknot. Then here you can see the battery. It's also removable, and it should be a 3000 mAh battery. Now the battery is quite big and heavy, not too thin, so I guess 3000 mAh could be definitely okay. And the battery lifetime on Lollipops on the beta build from NeedROM is currently very bad, so barely one day. I have to charge it 2 times a day. But yeah, with KitKat you can easily come through 1 day or 1.5 days, that's possible. Then in here you can see there's once again the sticker with the IMEI and the frequencies. It's a dual SIM, dual standby phone, so 2 SIM card slots and 1 micro SD card slot. Here we have the dual LED flash, which is very bright, looks pretty good. There's already 1 SIM card in there, so you can see a big SIM card, the SIM card slot 1, it's under the SIM card slot 2 and the SD card slot. Then yeah, here once again the frequencies, IMEI numbers and the model numbers. It's definitely the 3GB version. Then here at the bottom under the plastic there's the speaker. We have 2 speaker grids and it looks like a dual speaker system, but I guess it's just 1 speaker because sound is only coming out of 1 speaker grid. Okay guys, then let me reattach the battery and the back cover, then let's power it on and let's see how it performs in Android Lollipop. Alrighty guys, so we're now here in Android and this is Android Lollipop. And yeah, it feels a bit laggy here, because the ROM is really not optimized here for the chipset and for the smartphone, because the source will be released in June or July, so stay tuned for a really good working Lollipop build. Then here under about the phone you can see that this phone is definitely running Android 5 Lollipop, and if you tap here several times on the Android version, there should appear a Lollipop, and there we go, here it comes. But yeah, sometimes the phone is very laggy, sometimes also apps are crashing, and sometimes it gets a bit hot right under the camera. So this Lollipop build here is not that good right now, and in about 2 or 3 months you will have the first really good working Android 5 builds. Then yeah, here you can see once again it's the ECOO E04 3GB version, so definitely the newest one. Then let's go quickly here through the settings and let's see if everything is working as it should. First of all, Wi-Fi. I'm connected now to my home network. We have here the NVRAM warning error. It's pretty common that you get this when you format and reflash your smartphone, but there's a fix on ChinaDevices.com. Now I'm connected to my home network, 2.4 GHz frequency, and the link speed is 65 Mbits and the signal level is very good. Then let's have a look at Bluetooth, so it's also there, it's working. We also have Hotknot, and yeah, I showed you this several times, so I think I don't need to do this again. But basically this is empty case NFC, so you can transfer data to other smartphones, but the technology is different than NFC, so you have to touch the smartphone's display by display and not back cover by back cover, and also it's not possible to write NFC tags or to pay with Hotknot, but in the future it will probably be very cool. So yeah, let's just wait and let's see how Hotknot develops. Then here under more we can see all the same things we have on KitKat, like airplane mode, VPN, mobile networks and tethering. And right over here we have display settings, and this is very interesting. In here we have clear motion, mirror vision, and also MHL. Now MHL is a pretty cool feature, but also the hardware has to support it, because basically it allows you to use your micro USB port as a micro HDMI port, but I'm pretty sure it's not supported by the hardware, so it's just in here in the software version. But yeah, let's have a look at storage. In here we have phone storage, and the internal storage here is 12.7 gigabytes, 3.2 usable right now because I have many apps on there, music and videos. But yeah, you can also use microSD cards to extend the internal memory. Here you can see the battery stats, and the battery lifetime on Lollipop is absolutely bad. I have to charge it 2 times a day because yeah, it drains the battery so fast and gets a bit hot. So on KitKat, it's much better. You can get through 1.5 days with one battery. And on Lollipop currently, this is absolutely not optimized, so don't flash this ROM right now. Here you can see apps running in the background. We can just check this out to see the RAM consumption on Lollipop. And this looks pretty good. So we have about 2.8 gigabytes of total RAM, so not the full 3 gigabyte. And the ROM with the system apps takes about 1.3 gigabyte. So you still have about 1.5 gigabyte of usable RAM for bigger apps or games, and that's a pretty good value. Then under all apps here you can see that some Chinese apps are included. But they should be gone in the latest release of Lollipop. But here in the beta build, yeah, there's some Chinese apps, you have to deal with it. And here we have GPS, security and all that crap. Then we'll have a look at the fingerprint scanner just a bit later, and I have to say the fingerprint scanner is the best thing on that smartphone. It's absolutely great. Now yeah, settings look like Lollipop, menu button does the same like in KitKat, shows you here the pages on the home screen, you can choose different wallpapers and widgets or just go to the settings. Then at the top we have the Android status bar. As you can see, it looks different. In here you have notifications if you slide down, and there's a new thing on Lollipop called app permissions. And yeah, it's quite annoying because you have to grant every app permissions, and we have a new permission system. I mean, it's good because you have a full control over all the apps, but it absolutely sucks because every time you get a pop-up, grant or deny permission, and this can get really annoying. Then in here we have the quick toggle, so you can see it looks pretty good. Here the display brightness, Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, all the basic things, also GPS, and also Hotknot. There's now a quick button for Hotknot in Android 5, which I really love. Here we have the flashlight, and you can see that's a dual. Okay, what the fuck, it just went off. So let's just try it again, and there we go. And the dual LED flash looks very good, so it's bright, it's white, not yellow, and the LEDs here look pretty good in my opinion. We can also switch off the lights, and you can see this is very bright and really hurts in the eyes if you look directly into it. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, now that was the dual LED flash, and let's have a look at all the basic apps here on the smartphone, and let's see if everything is working on Android 5 as it should. So now let's go and let's test the fingerprint scanner, because it's absolutely great. Best experience ever. Then before you can switch it on, you have to register some fingerprints, and you can register up to 10 fingerprints, so every finger on every hand. And that's pretty cool. You can decide right hand or left hand and which finger you want to use. Then you have to register it, so just slide over the fingerprint scanner for a few times. And as you can see, it always detects my fingerprint, and after about 4 to 5 times it has registered your fingerprint, and then you can choose what you want to do with that fingerprint. Like you can choose if you want to have it for screen unlock, or if you want to start some app with that from the home screen. So this is a pretty cool thing. You can also use it in the PayPal app, and it's absolutely safe. Then let's switch on the fingerprint, and then you have to enter a pin or pattern if you cannot use a fingerprint anymore, because for instance if you burn your finger or something. But yeah, let's just do this, and then I want to show you how it performs. So let's just switch the screen off and let's do a quick lock screen test. So there we go, guys. So the phone is now locked, and on Lollipop the animation here is a bit laggy. But let's just try it with my thumb, which is not registered. Then let's try it here with this finger, and boom, you just have to swipe slightly over it and boom, it's unlocked. It's very fast and pretty accurate. We can just try it here a second time, so let's lock the screen again, and there we go. And yeah, now we can see the animation here is a bit laggy because it's Lollipop. But yeah, let's swipe over it. Not detected, but now detected. So it detects your finger almost every time and very fast. And this is a pretty good experience, and it's much faster than on some other phones I've had. Alrighty guys, now as always, let's test also all the apps here on the smartphone. Well, let's get started here with the dial application. And the phone should work in almost every country. Just make sure that the frequencies which your provider is using match up with the frequencies of the smartphone which you have seen before. Now let's just try to dial here some random number. Here's the speaker quality, and yeah, the speaker is placed here at the bottom, so in the frame. And it sounds a bit strange because actually the sound of the speaker is just coming out of one speaker grid, or speaker hole, or however you want to call it. Now, yeah, it also shuts off the display, so proximity sensor and all the other sensors are working in Android 5, and that's actually pretty good. Also the phone reception, so the signal quality is okay. Then here the messaging application, and yeah, also looks a bit different. We can just try here the new Android 5 keyboard, and I have to say I like the new design. It's very basic, and also the bright theme is something I really like. Now the vibration feedback which you get when you type feels a bit too strong in my opinion. I would definitely disable this feature also to save battery. But yeah, typing here pretty good. It's a 5-point capacitive touchscreen and there are absolutely no ghost touches. Then let's also quickly test out the browser, so there we go, and the browser is actually the same like in KitKat. So there is nothing special in here, but we can just try to access here some website, and yeah, probably Facebook. Okay, so the mobile version here doesn't look good here on the smartphone, but yeah, let's just try a different site like Google, and there we go. Okay, now, yeah, this looks normal, and yeah, you can see also here the animation and movies, everything here is working in the browser, but there is a problem currently on Lollipop, at least here with this build, that you cannot play back videos because somehow the codecs are missing, or yeah, some problem with the GPU, I don't know right now. But yeah, let's just have a look at all the apps right over here, and the first app we're going to check out is the camera application. So I would say let's go outside and let's do a quick camera. What the fuck, cannot connect to the camera. So you can see you always have such small problems, but before it was working. So I would say let's go quickly outside and let's try it again to do the camera test. We're now here outside in my garden, and let's do a quick camera test with Android Lollipop on the ECOO E04 Aurora. And here you can see the rear camera, and I have to say it looks beautiful. Just check this out, how the water looks now on the screen. It just looks like in real life. And you will also see some sample videos just in about 1 minute, and I have to say camera quality on the ECOO very good. Then the camera application is basically the same like on KitKat, nothing special. We have here the shutter, it's pretty fast. But yeah, it's fast on KitKat. Here we have video mode, and there's some problems with video mode in the Android 5 build, so sometimes it just crashes. I think if you set the video mode to fine, then it crashes. Then we can zoom in, so digital zoom looks also pretty okay here. Then let's go out of video mode. You will see some sample videos just in about 1 minute. Then as always here on the left side we have different recording modes like panorama, beauty mode or whatever. And at the bottom we have something new. So if you just tap at the little arrow here, then you can see there are some different effects. And yeah, we have some hipster filters, we have aqua filter, whatever you want to. And yeah, this looks like this Instagram crap filter, but pretty cool that this here is included. And yeah, basically you can switch the camera app if you want to, so you can install every camera app from the Google Play Store. But that's the basic app here, and everything here works pretty good, except of video mode. Then let's switch quickly here to the front-facing camera. You can see it's a bit wide angle, and I'm absolutely happy with the front-facing camera. This looks really good. You can see face detection works very good, and on some China phones the front-facing camera is very bad, but here on the ECOO I'm absolutely satisfied. This looks great, guys. Okay, then here we have the settings, so let's quickly check them out. And what you can see at the first look is that the settings are actually the same like in KitKat, so basically the same settings, just a new design here on the switches, so the Lollipop design. And in here we have anti-shake and face detection. Face detection is working really good. The maximum picture size in full screen mode is 15 megapixels, and in 4:3 mode it's 16 megapixels. So we don't have the full picture size in full screen. Now only here in 4:3, which is a bit bad. But yeah, I can definitely live with this because the camera looks great. Then now you will see some samples from the rear camera and from the front facing camera. So let's go, guys. Okay guys, now here's a quick rear camera video test on the ECOO E04 Aurora 3GB version, and it seems that the camera is the same like in the old model, so just the RAM has been upgraded, but as you can see it looks totally awesome. Now on the screen of the smartphone it looks sharp as hell, just like on my Galaxy Note for instance. And here's some close-ups, so there we go. Let's focus. Okay, here's a bit more light, so this should look better. And wow, just check this out. It looks absolutely cool. But just check for yourself how it looks for you on the computer. And I have to say here on the small screen it looks like also objects in the distance would be sharp. And that's something which is really great on that smartphone. So not only, wow, what the fuck is happening here? That's okay. Yeah. ECOO camera looks absolutely great in my opinion, but just check for yourself how it looks for you. And let's switch to the front-facing camera and let's test it. Now here's a quick front-facing camera test on the ECOO E04 Aurora 3GB version. And it looks okay on the smartphone, but if you check it out on the computer, the recording size is very small. and also it records in 3GP, so not MP4. Same goes for the rear camera. So I'm not quite happy with the video format, but on the screen of the smartphone, so if you use it for Skype, then the front-facing camera is definitely enough. But on the computer, as you will probably see, it doesn't look too good at all, but I'm quite happy with it. Just check for yourself how it looks like, but for me it looks quite okay, so pretty decent. Oh yeah, so we're now here back in the menu of Android Lollipop. At the top we have some Chinese apps, but I would recommend to stick with KitKat because the KitKat ROM is clean and everything is working on KitKat. Then we have here some dev tools to check this out. Now, if you're familiar with Android, then you can have a look at them, check out here the configuration, everything, and it really helps to understand how Android Lollipop is running on those MTK devices. So a pretty cool thing, and you can also adjust here some things, but you have to know what you're doing. Okay, then yeah, we have here also some other apps. The Fingerprint app, as we have seen before, to adjust the fingerprints. There's also a FM radio, but yeah, you have to plug in your headset as antenna, and there was no headset included. Second page contains all the Google apps, Hotknot verifier, and yeah, Hotknot is working pretty good on there, but in order to send data to other devices, the other device also has to support Hotknot, and you will probably see that feature on all upcoming MTK devices. I mean, yeah, it's nice, but it's not compatible with NFC. Let's go back to the menu. So that was the Hotknot verifier. We have the music player, we'll later test the speaker, navigation, GPS test, so GPS also works pretty good on the chipset, so it doesn't depend on the ROM. It's also working really good here in Lollipop, as you will see in the GPS test. Then there is some problem with the video codec, so if you want to play back some YouTube video, whatever, it's not working, it just shows some lines, and let's just try this here. Let's go to my uploads. And there we go, so it's a bit slow. Here we have the Lenovo Golden Warrior review, which is by the way a pretty nice smartphone. And yeah, you can see if you want to play back some movie, then boom, nothing. But on KitKat this works, and we'll do a video test in KitKat probably also today. Alrighty guys, so that's basically it. That's how Android Lollipop feels on the device. Then now let's do a GPS test, then a speaker test, and then maybe some benchmarks. But benchmarks are quite useless because it's running like shit here on Android Lollipop. Now here's a quick GPS test in the GPS test application. And the accuracy, which you can see here, is a bit too high. Also sometimes it goes up to 180 feet, and this doesn't look good at all. So on the Android Lollipop ROM, GPS is working, but sometimes there are some accuracy drops, so it goes up to a really high accuracy, and this doesn't work as good like on KitKat. This is why we'll also do a KitKat GPS test, maybe today or probably tomorrow. And yeah, you can see GPS is working. We have also very good signal bars, so 30 to 40. So the signal looks good, but just check out what happens to the accuracy while driving. It goes up to 200 feet or something. But if you're using a navigation app, then you're actually always on the road. So I think somehow the readings here are wrong. But we'll also do a KitKat GPS test, as I've said before. Then here's a quick GPS test here in Google Navigation. Sorry, it's a bit shaky, but yeah, let's just see how this works. And I'm driving the same road like in the GPS test before. And you can see, even though the accuracy maybe was very high in the GPS test, I'm always here on the road and it's not lagging behind or something. So really strange here on Lollipop. But I can definitely say that GPS here is working on the ECOO E04, and on KitKat it works absolutely perfect. But yeah, on the Lollipop ROM nothing is really working good. Then I would say let's do a quick speaker test, because the speaker is actually the same on both ROMs. And after this we'll do some benchmarks in Antutu, but the score is very low because it's not optimized for the cache in 64-bit, and yeah, the whole ROM is very buggy. Also no gaming test here on Lollipop, because the gaming performance is very low and the game sometimes crashes, so I cannot record because the game crashes in the menu. So don't judge the smartphone too early because of the bad performance in Android 5. It's a beta build, the source is not fully released right now, and I can definitely say it performs awesome on KitKat, and it's definitely one of my favorite smartphones under $200. Then now let's do some tests, and after this you will hear my conclusion about the ECOO E04 Aurora. Oh yeah guys, we're now here at the end of another review, and this is how the ECOO E04 Aurora 3GB version performs on Android 5. And as you can see, it performs totally bad, but this is because the sources are not released, as I've told you before. And a lot of Chinese sellers, they just advertise with Android 5 and should be already on the smartphone and such other crap, but actually the phone just comes with KitKat and a Android 5 background. That means if you want a Android 5 phone right now, then don't order the smartphone and just get yourself a high-end flagship device which already comes with Android 5. But until we have stable Android 5 on some China phones, it'll take at least 2 or 3 months, so stay tuned guys. And the overall quality of the phone, so the build quality is very good in my opinion, also the specs, probably the best specs you can get under $200, and that's really nice guys. But yeah, just stay tuned for my KitKat video, and it will come maybe today. I'm not sure if I can finish all the cuts today, but yeah, for sure tomorrow. So thanks for watching guys. You can find a link down below in the description. I've ordered it from eFox shop, but also in our shop we'll have the ECOO E04 Aurora 3GB version very soon. Thanks for watching guys, have a nice day and bye bye.